So first off, you look great. Love the background. Absolutely love it.
Thank you so much. I'm over here like moving stuff. I'm like, I don't want to look like green is growing out of my ear, like trying to pull it together.
Greenery is like totally the thing now, especially now that people are home. It's like, okay, let's get some plants going.
Plants.
But they're allowed to take care of. I know, like, I would kill a plant. I'm like, I stay away from it.
I'm trying to keep these kids alive, Alexyz, okay? Like these plants, they don't have a chance.
Right. So we get to see your life play out on TV, a very blended, very busy life. How does it feel just knowing that people are going to be able to come into your life?
I think that it's exciting just because I know that, with the past year, we need more strong African-American women-led voices, on big platforms. So it's no tiny venture that, USA Network supported having a strong character, with a show called She's the Boss, on a major cable network. It's really exciting to be part of that. And I think, I hope it adds to a legacy.
Yeah, and now you have a really unique story where you say in the trailer, you've met your daughters pretty much helping them. And then you decided to bring them in. How was that transition, especially knowing that the mother was present for quite some time and did end up getting incarcerated? But how was that kind of adjusting, like literally a snap of a finger from being, not a parent, now a parent of 3 girls?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, things happen over time, so I mean, the initial phase was very quick because we came into their life and didn't expect things to escalate. I thought literally I was doing a big brother, big sister mentoring type situation. But, I'm the type of person who looks at a problem and tries to figure out how I can solve it. And I knew the girls needed more. So we just tried to always do the next right step. And, that led to us becoming parents. And, they give more to us than we could ever give to them. So we're just so grateful for it. And the transition was one that has its bumps, normal family bumps that you'll see on the show, but it really is something special because we chose each other as a family, and we're grateful for it. We love each other, but we also like each other.
And that's the most important, that you like each other, especially now. People have to be in the house 24/7 with each other.
Girl.
Becoming like not only the parent, but like the chef and the teacher and everything under the sun.
All the things. Whew, all the things.
Yes. Now, you also mentioned that before you got married, you were asking for an Idris Elba type of man, but now you're in an interracial relationship. And it's not something as Black women that we see portrayed, on TV a lot of places. And if it is, it's like overly like, I'm in an interracial marriage. Yeah. So how have you been able to just kind of blend it in, like it's not something that has to be like, here it is, it's just your normal life?
Well, it's funny because it's not something that we think about on a daily basis, and it wasn't something I planned for by any definition. It just happened. God knows what you need, and sent me perfect man. Like, he is perfect for me. And I'm just so grateful for that. But it's fun because you do see it on the show, but it's more subtle. It's cultural things, So my husband's growing up, he's Jewish, with gefilte fish and challah and all these food things, and I'm the child of African immigrants. I'm like, here's your jollof rice. Like, let's throw some curry on that, let's spice it up. And he's just looking at me like, what? So I think that that's something every family can relate to. If you grew up in the North versus growing up in the South, if you're, a Chi-Town girl versus, Chocolate City in DC, like, you understand the dynamic that we don't say and do everything the same way, but ultimately we can find common ground. So I'm excited because I think everyone can relate to it one way or another.
Absolutely. Now, through the series, what can fans expect to see? What are some things that you may have like troubled with, or something that you may have exceeded with, that you just moments where you were pretty much vulnerable to the audience?
Yeah, I think the toughest one is just balancing when I need to use my mom hat and when I need to use my business hat. Because, you get on your grind, you're hustling all day. And, especially with the way that social media is, you always feel like you have to be on a constant grind. Like, I'm always working to hustle. And it's important that I leave that hat at the door. That cannot come into the house with me. And so on the show, it's tough because there are moments where my kids will come to me and say, Mom, I need help with, school, carpool, boyfriends, whatever. And I'm like, well, here's what you want to do. You get an Excel spreadsheet and you're such, like, that's where my brain is going.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me like, no. Like, that's not the energy I needed. So it's tough for me to look back and see those. They're funny moments, but they're also great, like, teaching moments for me that no, like, I need to make sure that I'm approaching them with a softer hand because it's not business, even though running a family can feel like that sometimes.
And now, what would you say to those people? Because a lot of people, when they think of adoption, they think young kids, babies, just fresh born new kids. What would you say to that person who's potentially looking into adopting or knows a family who could use the help with adopting, where their kids are almost teenagers? I mean, you mentioned that your oldest, you've only had her for 4 years before she went off to college. So what are some words of advice that you would have for people interested in adopting?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that I hope that She's the Boss does is that it shows that families are made in a lot of different ways and that they can be just as loving. And I'm excited for people to see that, that I had these girls in, a toddler, a preteen, and then like an older teenager, and we made it work. And yeah, we have our challenges. It's not easy every day. I don't like arguing about cell phones or dealing with the first boyfriends and all that jazz, but that's stuff that every family deals with. And I'm hoping that people who are considering adoption look at this and say, you know what, it's not easy, but it's really worth it. And ultimately, kids give you more than you could ever give them. And I'm just really blessed to even be their mother. It's an honor.
Nice, absolutely. And it's a hard job. It's a hard job, and people are just now starting to see it. Parenting in general, especially during quarantine, like I mentioned, you're all these different hats, and it's coming together. So I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. Now, has there been word of a season 2?
So I don't want to say anything and I don't want to make any promises, but I do know that if America tunes in and they watch every Thursday on USA Network at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central, that the odds of a season 2, very possible, but you got to tune in and you got to tell your friends.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. It's been so great talking to you.
You're amazing, Alexyz. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Have a good day.